5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Welcome, everyone. You are listening to Truth, Beer, and Podsequences, the podcast where we recap Cincinnati beer podcasts with our version of the truth. We're hoping that there aren't too many consequences from the hosts of those podcasts that we cover when we add in our own wild speculations about what's truly going on behind the mic. I'm Julia.
Hello, I'm Marco. So, Julia.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for joining me here on Truth, Beer, and Podsequences. Before we get into telling you a little bit more about the show, how the show came about, a little bit about ourselves, I just want to take the time out to say, number one, we are drinking beer. I am having a Hell or High Watermelon from 21st Amendment Brewery. Julia, what are you having?
I have an Espresso Honey Imperial Milk Stout from Untitled Art.
Great. And so we're drinking here, which is our podcast home, BC's Montgomery, BC's Bottle Lodge Montgomery.
What is this show?
What is the show, Julie? You want to start? Go ahead and give our listeners.
And we know it's going to be a little rough as we get started, but we hope you will suffer through it with us as we figure things out and get better with each episode. This podcast, the idea behind this podcast came up during a podcast, more or less. One day Marco said, someone needs to make a podcast about Cincinnati beer podcasts. I agreed, and Truth, Beer, and Podsequences was born.
That's right. That's pretty much how it happened. We were both interacting on the Weekly Pint, and I don't remember the reason I called into the show, but I called the drunk line. I have the drunk line saved as a contact on my phone, and one of the last things I said was, hey, this needs to be a podcast. Julia, we need to do this. And, we started sketching up, dreaming up how this was going to happen. And so we've been working at this on our own timetable, and we think the time is right now to bring this to all of you. And hopefully, like I said, bear with us. Hopefully it'll be fun, as much fun for you as it is for us. I know we have had a lot of fun trying to put this together.
Absolutely.
And so just to not only give you an insight on how the podcast idea came about and why we're doing it and what it's about, to give you a little bit of information on Julia and I. If you're in the Cincinnati craft beer scene, you may be aware of some of Julia's claims to fame with the wonderful... I was going to brag about you, but you should tell everybody about the cool things that you do.
I am a semi-frequent poster in the Cincinnati Craft Beer Club group on Facebook. Normally, I don't feel like I have anything all that interesting to say. I'm not drinking the white whales, the big, hard-to-get beers. But what I have done and what people have asked me to continue doing is I do daily posts for the Higher Gravity beer vent boxes that the Higher Gravity Bottle Shop in Northside releases every year. So 25 days in December, 25 different beers in a box. You never know what you're going to get until you pick it out. And so every single day after I pick the beer, I write a post about it. And that post will vary from a parody of a Christmas song or a popular song on the radio to a random story about the god-awful day that I had where I just wanted to come home and grab a delicious beer out of that beer vent box and ended up pulling a High Life or getting iced.
Yeah, getting iced. I remember that last year. I honestly, the beer vent box is pretty unique. I like it. I have not purchased one. This might be the year. I do it. We do not have a Patreon yet. However, if anybody would like to buy my box, that would be great. Not going to lie, Julia, I love those Facebook posts that you do. And you make sure if it is a parody of a song that you put the song in there so that everybody can get that tune in their head when they're reading the lyrical genius that you put down on Facebook. Have you done any parodies of any Fergie songs?
Not yet, but it's on the list.
There we go. That's what I like to hear that. That's great.
So, Marco, your claim to fame in the brewing world is you actually make some of the absolutely amazing beers that many of you hopefully have had an opportunity to drink.
Well, that's very kind of you, Julia. Yes, I do brew beer. I do not work at Valley Vineyard Cellar Dweller, and I have not done that for almost 5 years now. Brew the beer. Put together, there's a team of us. So we started out pretty small with two, and we have grown to double our size on the brew team. And we're all part-time, though, which is cool. I mean, we're making beer for the winery tasting room. We used to distribute back in 2018, 2019, and a little bit before that. But now, I mean, it's just you want our stuff, you got to come get it from us for the meantime, which, hey, that's okay. I mean, we're in a still pandemic world. Things are kind of crazy. I also have been a guest on Cincy Brewcast, and you've been a guest on Shift Beers.
It's true.
It's
all
fun.
coming full circle.
It sure is. It
coming full
really,
circle.
really is. And it maybe gives you a little bit of insight on maybe we like to hear our own voices. I'm not sure. But thank you for coming on this journey with us. Hopefully you find it as enjoyable as we do because we have a lot of fun doing this. Shout out to BC's Bottle Lodge one more time as our podcast host because they're great hosts. And Julia, we're going to talk about Cincy Brewcast. We're going to talk about Prost. We're going to talk about
Sonder Stories,
and
Shift Beers,
Brews Travelers Outcast Podcast.
Fretboard TV when they post episodes.
That's probably, yes, when they post an episode, that's going to happen. Hustle
we
and
will
Brews.
talk about it. Hustle and Brews.
Yeah, we talked
Another
about
Matt
Hustle and
DeMera
Brews.
special, yeah. So, yeah, if there is a podcast out there that covers Cincinnati beer or it's Cincinnatians covering beer that you think we need to listen to, hit us up on Twitter at TruthBeerPod, TruthBeerPod, P-O-D, and let us know. Let us know how we're doing. Let us know what we need to listen to. Can't guarantee we'll listen to everything every single week, but we will do our best to cover as much as we can.
Yeah, absolutely. And to be fair and true to really what we're doing, there's a lot of podcasts in Cincinnati, a lot, and a lot of them talk about liquor, bars. They may have beer while they're talking about something else as a main thing, like maybe sports or something, and maybe there's an occasion where we can dig into that. But really, we want to circle around craft beer, or if your podcast is going to be a guest, or you are going to be a guest on one of these podcasts, that may be an episode. Maybe it's not necessarily in our lane, but you come into our radius, our spectrum, our radar because you're going to be a guest in there. Let us know. Let us know. We're in for that.
So we look forward to speaking with you guys again. And until our first episode comes out in hopefully a week or two from the time you're listening to this, have a great one, guys. Cheers.
Bye.